Alright, let's talk about this. The Chicago Bears are reportedly pushing to finalize a massive contract extension for right tackle Darnell Wright before training camp begins. Securing our All-Pro anchor now is a move that finally prioritizes long-term stability on the offensive line instead of waiting for the market to explode. This update centers on two key aspects: what we know about the current negotiations and why failing to sign him now could haunt our salary cap later. The more we dig into these numbers, the more obvious it becomes that this deal is non-negotiable. Smash that like button, subscribe, and tell us your city below as we break it down. The Chicago Bears have reached a pivotal moment with their 2023 draft class, as several players are now extension eligible. But one name stands out as an absolute necessity for the future of our franchise. Darnell Wright, who arrived as a high-profile selection, has solidified his spot as a cornerstone of our offensive line over 3 impressive seasons. After earning a second-team All-Pro nod in 2025 and posting a dominant 85.6 run-blocking grade according to Pro Football Focus, Wright has become the clear priority for an extension. Even while battling through a torn UCL in his elbow last year, he limited opponents to just 3 sacks and 19 pressures across 16 games. Head coach Ben Johnson recently emphasized that our offensive identity is built with Wright in mind, highlighting his unique power to displace defenders at the line of scrimmage. According to ESPN reporter Courtney Cronin, the organization is pushing to finalize a deal before training camp begins on July 28th. And I'll be straight with you, this urgency from the front office is exactly what we have been waiting for. For us fans, seeing a homegrown talent become a cornerstone brings a rare sense of stability to a position that has frustrated us for far too long. The prospect of locking him up now, rather than waiting for the market to inflate further, is a smart play that we fully support. However, while securing Wright feels like a masterstroke, the broader landscape of our 2023 draft class is far more complicated than it appears on the surface. If we are pouring our resources into the right tackle spot, what does that mean for the other 5 players from that class who remain on the roster and are still fighting to prove their worth? The most surprising detail regarding the 2023 draft class is that despite featuring 10 total selections, only one player has cemented himself as an absolute non-negotiable cornerstone for our future. We are currently watching the clock tick toward the start of training camp on July 28th, and the decision to prioritize Darnell Wright for a contract extension reflects a shift in organizational philosophy regarding how we value reliable trench play. We reached this moment because Wright defied physical limitations, specifically playing through a torn UCL in his elbow, while still delivering an 85.6 run-blocking grade, which ranks 6th among all tackles in the league last season, according to Pro Football Focus. His 74.3 pass-blocking grade, alongside giving up only 3 sacks across 16 games, makes him a rare commodity we cannot afford to let hit the open market. And the more I look at this, I see a front office that recognizes the danger of waiting. As tackle salaries inflate across the league, locking in our all-pro talent now is a fiscally responsible insurance policy. Head coach Ben Johnson clearly values this investment, noting that our entire offensive identity tilts right-handed specifically to leverage Wright's ability to displace defenders at the point of attack. Historically, the franchise has often been criticized for failing to surround our offensive core with consistent anchors, but keeping Wright long-term signals a departure from those past frustrations. Behind closed doors, leadership understands that while they hold his 5th-year option, the cost of top-tier offensive line play is only trending upward. Securing him now keeps our salary structure predictable for the seasons ahead, while ensuring our primary protector remains in a Chicago uniform for the prime of his career, proving that the front office is finally prioritizing stability over uncertainty when it comes to the trenches. And honestly, shifting from the raw news to the broader implications, the priority here is about securing the foundation of our entire offensive operation before the pressure mounts. This matters right now because Darnell Wright has become the cornerstone of our protection, and locking him up prevents a future financial headache as the market for quality tackles continues to climb. By finalizing an extension before training camp, we stabilize the right side of the line, allowing the rest of the roster to focus purely on execution rather than contract uncertainty. With Wright firmly in place, the depth chart gains a sense of permanence that trickles down to our younger prospects like Tyreek Stevenson and Gervon Dexter, who can now look toward a clear, long-term vision for this team. This move directly bolsters our offensive consistency, which will be vital when we face fierce defensive fronts in our upcoming schedule. We need that reliability to keep our quarterback upright during critical late-season matchups where every single snap counts toward our playoff positioning. By establishing this level of security now, we gain a distinct competitive advantage over our division rivals who may be juggling more volatile roster situations as the year progresses. Securing Wright is not just about keeping a talented player. It is about signaling to the rest of the league that we are building a durable, serious contender. With him anchored at right tackle, our capacity to run the ball effectively and maintain a balanced attack gives us a clear edge, turning potential question marks into a position of absolute strength as we push for the postseason. Investing in a proven second-team All-Pro player like him creates the necessary stability to win in the trenches, which remains the single most important factor for any team with genuine championship aspirations in this modern era of professional football. As we look at the 2023 draft class, the mandate to secure Darnell Wright is clear because he has blossomed into a premier protector for this organization. Locking him up now prevents his price tag from skyrocketing, as recent Pro Football Focus data confirms his 85.6 run-blocking grade and his resilience playing through a painful elbow injury. The upside is having a cornerstone tackle who serves as the bedrock of our right side offensive scheme, a sentiment echoed by head coach Ben Johnson. However, the risk lies in the financial commitment required to tie up massive capital in one position, potentially limiting our flexibility to address depth elsewhere on the roster. While the team is keeping an eye on other 2023 contributors like Gervon Dexter, Tyreek Stevenson, Rashawn Johnson, Noah Sewell, and Terrell Smith, the conversation surrounding extensions is clearly centered on Wright. According to ESPN reporter Courtney Cronin, the front office is pushing to finalize this deal before training camp begins on July 28th. Let's be real, while the enthusiasm for Wright is warranted, some might argue that rushing into a mega contract for a player who still has a fifth-year option available is unnecessary pressure on the salary cap. The way I see it, the front office is making the right call by being proactive, even if the timing feels like a bit of a scramble. Waiting often leads to a more expensive market, and securing a second-team All-Pro talent like Wright provides stability that is hard to manufacture in this league. We simply cannot afford to let a foundational piece reach a point where his future becomes a distraction during the season. Getting this done now demonstrates a commitment to our core identity and ensures that our most consistent lineman remains a permanent fixture in the trenches for years to come. When we weigh the current roster status against the future of the franchise, the big picture becomes clear. The Chicago Bears are finally prioritizing long-term stability by rewarding the foundation pieces who have proven their value on the field. Locking in a talent like Darnell Wright as he enters his fourth season is the type of strategic move that defines a winning culture for years to come. And that changes everything regarding our ability to build a sustained offensive identity. As Chicago Bears fans, we should feel exceptionally confident heading into this training camp because we are seeing a front office that understands the importance of keeping elite, battle-tested talent in the building before they hit the open market. By securing a cornerstone tackle who just earned a second-team All-Pro nod while battling through a torn UCL, this team is signaling that they are ready to protect our investment and maximize our chances of success starting right now. His performance, marked by that impressive 85.6 run-blocking grade according to Pro Football Focus, proves that he is the exact kind of player we need to anchor the trenches. We are witnessing a smart, calculated shift toward consistency that prevents the typical roster churn that often hinders growing organizations. Watching the team secure a reliable presence like Wright means we are no longer just hoping for improvement, but instead banking on it through established veteran leadership. It is a fantastic time to be a follower of this team as we prepare for the intensity of the upcoming year. With negotiations reportedly heating up before veterans report on July 28th, do you believe the Chicago Bears will successfully finalize a long-term contract extension for Darnell Wright before the first training camp practice begins? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Bear down.